Okay, so welcome to the Conscious Leadership series. This series is a deep dive into the minds of leaders who are redefining leadership with a purpose, self awareness, and impact. And isn't it crucial in a world where profits and technology often take center stage and sometimes at the expense of human connections and well being? Through these conversations, we uncover how conscious leadership navigates the balance between fostering business excellence and people first culture. Today, I have the honor of speaking with a leader who has spent over 25 years shaping HR strategy, developing business transformation, and championing leadership development. I have with me Sanjeeb Lahiri, a C-suite HR professional and a transformation catalyst who has led people strategies across diverse industries. Currently, Sanjeeb is the Chief Human Resources Officer at GRP and has held various leadership roles at Tata Africa Holdings, Tata International Limited, Tata Communications, where he has played a pivotal role in organizational transformation, talent strategy, leadership development across India, Europe, Asia, and Africa. Beyond his expertise in talent management, Sanjeev is also an executive and leadership coach, a DEI evangelist, and a passionate advocate for loneliness and burnout in leadership. This is why it makes him a true leader in conscious leadership. And thank you, Sanjeev, for honoring this space and helping our viewers to understand how you have led through the ups and downs of leadership and you've held your ground to become a conscious leader. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Smitha. It's wonderful. Such a privilege to be here. And the type of work and the type of concepts of leadership that is coming on, and you are advocating them. I'm more than honored to be a part of this conversation. Thanks again.
Thank you. So we are going to take the conversation forward. And I'm going to ask you some questions around your journey in leadership. Our viewers are going to really love this and may embody some of the qualities which you would have shared in this episode. So tell me, you've led HR strategies for over 25 years and in diverse organizations and the geographies. How has been your leadership journey and how have you evolved over these years?
Oh, well. Like all leaders or like all people who grow up the hierarchies, right? So what we do is that we tend to copy the our bosses who we resonated the most or who we liked the most. It's like, while we were in school, we used to probably copy, imitate the teacher who we loved the most, or same things, exactly same thing. And I'm sure it is story. I mean, it is for
Yeah.
everybody. Gradually, in certain areas, I found, or rather, during the whole development, my own leadership development journey, I came across the situational leadership theories, and if because those days, situational theories in case of in leadership in traditional organizations were coming in. People still used to debate on where leaders are born or made. Yeah, what gives you what gives you rather people used to believe, or rather I had worked with a genre of leaders who used to believe that this has given me success yesterday, it shall give me success tomorrow. Now the situational leadership, why I liked, because it actually contested that thought. And early in my career I had an opportunity to really work with very diverse teams, with organizations suddenly getting through a huge amount of change management space. So I could resonate a lot of the situational leadership theories, and I thought, okay, this is something that probably makes sense, because if I am ready to, I mean, a test player may or may not actually succeed in the one days those days. T20 came much later, and we have seen those, right? The change of context means a change of style. I think I think to be able to, and I mean, I bow down to my mentors to have supported me on those, basically making me, shaping me up uh, for that. And then suddenly came this whole thing of when I was gradually getting into mentoring, coaching space, I heard this term of conscious leadership, and that "See, this is not different. This is indeed not different." Uh, so today, if you say, do I consciously practice conscious leadership? I don't know, but yeah, as a leader, I do believe we need to be present. We need to be aware about ourselves. We need to be aware about the situations, conditions, context that the that our teams or somebody who is talking to us is going through, or what we may need to. And I think all of it embodies both. Call it situational, call it conscious. I leave it to you.
Absolutely. And you brought in multiple things that I would like to play it back for our viewers. Is the situational leadership by Glenn Benchard. Yeah. It's like uh, for different people, we need to play our leadership qualities differently. It's like one size does not fit all, right? So every individual thereby is unique, and every individual responds to a situation very differently. Some might be analytical, some might be quick in understanding, some might be very focused, some might be very creative, some are looking for a lot of freedom, some are looking for a lot of hand holding. So one size does not fit all. And when a leader is very conscious about those things and very conscious about understanding the strengths of each individual, they will accordingly respond to every individual differently rather than playing one tune across everybody and then some get it and some don't get it. Yeah,
Right.
so I am being conscious enough to understand, am I being conscious enough to understand every individual, their strengths, and how can I then double down on their strengths? And yes, what got us here won't get us there. So what helped me in the past will not help me in the future. So how am I conscious that what needs to change for me, which will help me to ensure my people grow? Yeah.
Very
And
well put. Very well put.
being present, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I am being present in the moment to understand the situation, contextualize it, rather than thinking, oh, this happened to me many years back, and that is how I played it this way. Than seeing, oh, this is the situation, these are my people, what is that they would like to do in this situation. So being present with them, being present with myself and the situation is one of the best gifts that a leader can have.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. uh, so there are certain basic things that a leader embodies as a conscious leader, and you spoke about it in some way just now. However, I would just like to expand that. And conscious leadership requires deep understanding of ourselves first, and how we are emotionally intelligent to manage different situations. How have you been able to cultivate these qualities? Because every leader will have a blind spot, right? But unless and until I am deeply aware of myself, there is no way that I can, manage my emotions and then the emotions of others. How have you been able to embody these qualities?
Oh well, that's a deep question. Uh, but one thing is that I, as a person, have always, I think, right from my childhood that I can remember, I have always been observant. I have always been, uh, you know, so people have always call it intrigued me, interested me. So I
Sorry, I didn't hear you that.
yeah,
Creepy
no, people have
people.
people have always interested me. Yeah, I was a very shy child. So as shy as if somebody who I did not know, or somebody even I met long ago is coming to visit us with the family, I will be found under the bed. I was that shy. I grew up being branded as an introvert. Later in life, I understood what this word means, what this word meant, and I tended to believe that yes, I was an introvert. So I used to avoid a lot of events, any social event, any gathering. I said I'm not there. I mean, I purposely used to avoid because I believed that I was an introvert. Yeah. All of these suddenly started to change during one of my leadership journeys, where we were supposed to go through something called as a process lab many years ago. Yeah, there it's a very intense program. Partly like a vipassana, you're put in silence, you are meant to think. Yeah, it breaks you up, it wills you back. Somehow, certain realizations happened over there, and of course, through my mentor, through my facilitator at that point in time, um, it was actually said, okay, maybe if this is uh, I have it in me, can I convert this into a strength? Was what my then mentor, okay, let me name him. His name is Mr. Zahid Gangji. Uh,
Sorry.
Mr. Zahid Gangji.
Okay.
He was my mentor in my process lab, and at least certain awarenesses that he could actually tell me. And so when you say, okay, what do you want to work on it, or what do you think about yourself? And I was the person in a meeting room that I will be absolutely silent. I will not even come up with a point. I would rather tend to make that point separately to who I thought I needed to speak, right? So some of these developmental journeys, and then he actually had pointed it out. Look, you have the power of observation. You are seeing something and you are analyzing that others are not doing. Is that not your strength? And it made me think. It was difficult to unravel certain thoughts with which you have grown. And it then came up to the other point that, okay, if you are now not speaking on that situation to which you have a solution, are you not really holding yourself back? So I was made aware. Now, when I got that, so I tried to. So that was a period of transformation, you can say, when I started to use the skills, so on and so forth, and gradually try to understand situation and try to make my point clear. If I faced a resistance, so be it. But I did not go back to sleep with the guilt that I could have done differently. You know. So I think this was the realization which came pretty early in my career, which I tried to build on. Once again, not consciously as much, but that being the self-critic has always been there in me also. Can this be different? Can this solution come in another way? Yep. So something intrinsic, which probably I inherited, and but a lot goes to once again my mentors, the leaders that I have worked with, who definitely were present for me when I needed. So today, if you see whatever little bit I do, probably once again I'm trying to just copy what they have done to me. I don't know how successful it is, but definitely it is. It. I think it's a responsibility of any leader to be to have that to be present in that particular moment when you are needed to be. When your team is with you, somebody asking for a solution, somebody coming to you for, call it advice, call it guidance, a situation demanding you to step up. And if you are really not present, then I don't think as leaders we are doing our jobs, whatever our styles are. I don't know
Yeah.
I answered you.
No, from a point that, you know, this is where a coach or a mentor in your life makes so much of difference, right?
Absolutely.
Uh, there was your mentor who spotted your silence. And instead of brushing it aside by saying this person may not know something or may not know anything, thereby he is not contributing, the silence became your power, which means he also, instead of thinking that he is not talking, which means he may not know, to your silence means you are a deep observer. Yeah, so also understanding that silence is also making a lot of impact. And from there, also lifting you up to allowing you to open up and share. So that little bit of nudge was also required by that mentor. Rather than living with that belief, oh, I am an introvert and I will not be able to talk in front of so many people. The belief was also broken, and thereby you were able to come out of that shell. So there was a limiting belief within you. Somebody made you aware that it's a great quality. Now that you've observed, you can also speak up.
Very true.
Yeah,
Very
so
true.
this is how leaders also, I mean, in our journey, if we have to be aware and deeply aware of ourselves, A, find a great coach mentor. B, just go all out, talk to whoever who will genuinely give you that authentic feedback about you so that you develop yourself to make yourself a better leader, manage your thereby manage your emotions and thereby manage the emotions of people around you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
One thing helps if I can just add over here
yes,
it's a personal learning that look, I mean, I am doing something. Maybe I am reacting, stroke responding to a particular situation. If we ask ourselves that a could we have done it differently, and b what I did, was this impactful? Did it create the impact that I wanted it to create? I think we will get our own answers. Half the time it happens is that I think a lot of we are all human beings. Lot of times we get into self defense. Yes, what I did is right. At times the so-called leadership ego also comes in, very
yeah,
difficult to handle at times. So I think, and it is about, we don't have to tell the world. It is the talk that we have with ourselves. And I think as leaders, if we're able to spend that little time with ourselves, a lot of things for us will change and will
yeah,
be different. It will be it is going to be different.
yeah, true. Sometimes that little bit of ego also comes in the way, sometimes knowingly, sometimes unknowingly. Sometimes you just feel that it's very important for me to be right.
Yes,
But when we drop that ego and the need to be right, I think we will go all out to talk to anybody to find out what's that I need to change within me, which will help me and those around me.
yes,
And I remember doing that tons of times in my journey as well, which has genuinely helped me. Taking feedback from others about yourself is the best way to get authentic feedback. And that's what builds that psychological safety,
yes,
right?
yes,
It's not just a term coined, but when we do these small things, these acts literally create psychological safety.
absolutely.
And it's just getting connected now to the very next question that I had in my mind. It's all about this whole aspect of performance, right? We speak about performance driven culture and we are a high performance organization. Yes, is it required? Absolutely. In a fast moving world, is it that we have to be competitive? Yes, we have to be competitive. But in your experience as a leader, how have you been able to navigate this tension between performance driven culture to building a psychologically safe environment where well-being of people is also given its due importance?
I always believed, and I learned it from my own life, that if something is bothering me at the deep of my head, I cannot give the best of my performance. Right? Let's take the word performance out of it. Let's replace the word performance by contribution. Right? So, and is that not true for all of us? I'm sure it is true for all. Right? And and lot of leaders who are known as taskmasters with inverted commas, mm, uh, even they know it. It's just that style that would have given them performance, and certain some of those beliefs that they thought that, okay, if you whip a horse, the horse shall run. Now, my question always is to be to those kind of leaders. Yes, the horse is running today. What about tomorrow, right? And if you think, if the horse is running willingly, will that not be better? Why do we need to really? Yes, I mean, once again, goes back to the call it conscious, call it situational. All of us, when we lead our teams, or when we lead adjacent teams of the teams on which we do not have, which we may not have absolute control. And remember, this is not a bunch of kids. We are all adults at a workplace, right? We all bring in our own individuality. We all building our own lives, life stories, and life situations at work. So the way I work may be very different from the way anybody else in this work, and not may not be. It is like that, right? So if I need to say, for example, I love to burn the midnight oil. All my work happens at the middle of the night. Does not necessarily mean that my teammate or my colleague will do. But what is important is to focus on what we must achieve as a team, relating it to the purpose, relating it to the goal. And I think that is when, as leaders, if you're able to do that, to be able to focus on what we must achieve, yeah, I think the journey becomes easier. The journey becomes even further easier if you're able to have the why are we doing it? If you are able to have that conversation, and I'm sorry to say, I have had the privilege of seeing, working with a lot of people across the world, a lot of teams across the world. Seldom do, as leaders, we bring the why context into our conversations with the team. We always say, yes, this is the target, go and achieve, right? And there is another favorite phrase of a lot of leaders which I personally dislike, yeah, which is like, I don't care, you do it. Excuse me. If you have given the target, and I'm telling this to even myself, it's my responsibility to see that the person achieves it. Leadership does not exist if the team fails. As simple as that. Some very strong thoughts maybe somewhere, but
Yeah,
I think, but I think that is what it drives. You know, I tend to bring in some, the context of 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 the army. When people are actually following the leader, they know they might not return. They are writing their last letter. What is that motivation? And how do, not only the Indian army, the professional armies across the world, how do they do it? So there is something. And I think that is what that purpose, that passion, the Junoon that we are able to create in the team, if we are able to create in the team. And also, the other thing that I once again firmly believe is that a team is a combination. The team is a galaxy. The team does not depend upon the brightest star every day. So if you're able to create a team as a leader, that okay, if say one person is not able to live up to their potential today, I still have someone who will step in. And here goes into that, to those classical motivation theories, what makes us work, why it makes us work, and so on and so forth. And the challenge or the fun is, today we are, as you said earlier, we are multi-generational. Uh, Everybody is bringing in their own life on the table, right? Now, for me, my 50 years of life, and say 27, 28 of years of experience, professional observations, is different from what a 2-year, 3-year-old professional observation person is bringing in. However, how do we create that synergy? I cannot create that unless I know myself, unless I know that person, unless I'm spending equal time to tune our wavelength. I think that is what conscious leadership is all about.
absolutely. And I would love to summarize this aspect of the question. because some pearls of wisdom from you, Sanjeev. Um, One is how can leaders ensure that the horse runs on its own? You know, why we need to literally whip by saying it's the target that we need to achieve by hook or crook. I don't know what you do, I don't care, but this needs to happen. And when we do that, I have always seen the pressure of the target is still on the leader. It's still not passed on because the why is still not known to the person. It is just the target, it's not the why. So when I know why I am doing what I am doing, I will passionately do it, whether I have to wake up early morning or do it midnight, whatever it be, but I will do it because I feel it is important for me to achieve that goal. That full ownership has come.
Absolutely.
The other aspect is how are we building consensus when something that important has to happen? A is the why, and B is letting the team or letting your team member understand how they would like to approach the situation. A person with 2 to 3 years experience who's just come in the workforce may have a very different thought process or may have some very great creative idea by which the thing can be done with ease. But how are we viewing that? Are we saying that, oh, he's or she's just a 3 years experience and I am with 25 years, I know it much better, so you listen to me? So what is, how judgmental are we being? And the other aspect is many a times this happens because of the fear of failure. When there are successful leaders who've seen success after success for years and years, then the fear of failure also pushes them to talk just about performance and not about the well-being, the psychological safety, the empowerment, and all of that. And yes, how do people in the army, just follow that leader blindfoldedly? Yeah, uh, because they know the why. They know why they are doing, and they're passionate about their country. They're passionate so much about their teammates. They're not passionate. They don't care about their lives. So yeah, the why aspect, letting go of the fear, empowering. Um, People should follow you not because you've told them to follow, right? They follow you because they feel you are the leader who is so compassionate.
May not be, may not be, because they so the teams will follow a leader because they believe in the leader, and and more than anything else, that they believe in the collective success.
Yes,
So I think, and as the leaders, and all of this we cannot do unless we make them feel fearless. That's all
yes,
about the psychological safety that you are talking about. It just cannot happen, right? If you don't achieve it, you will be sacked. I am sorry. Things will never work.
yeah,
I mean, we have seen some of those, in the recent past.
absolutely,
I
absolutely.
mean, some postings in the social media, which might have been so embarrassing for the organization,
Yeah, yeah,
more so for the person. Just can we not rewind? Can we really not see, what could have been done differently? And that's where.
yeah, true
So
that. And we together, all of us can create such a beautiful environment. And then I don't think we'll ever have the Monday blues and the Friday happiness. Nothing. I mean, every day will look so seamless and so beautiful that
true,
wherever I am, my work just happens. The joy of doing that work is so much that the burden vanishes.
true.
Uh, Whether it's a fear of failure, judgment, nothing. I think these things will just simply vanish from our lives. But yeah, there's a lot of responsibility then onto the leader to portray that authentically, not with the
Absolutely.
mask.
Absolutely.
authentically believing that yes, this is possible.
Absolutely. Like how many times as leaders, when we mess up, we are also human beings, right?
Yes,
We do mess up. How many times can we stand up and say, look, I messed up?
yes. Or
And
I
how,
don't know. I don't know. Can you please
or I
help?
don't, exactly, exactly. So I think, and Smita, this always made me think a lot of times, particularly, when we were doing coaching and we really actually try to find authenticity and all of those, or the awareness bit of it. You know, I, it, I really keep on thinking that, look, are these not human? These are all the human traits we all have. Why do we have to try to make the teams or try to think that the team is a robot? We are one. We are a bigger robot. So we must, start marching in the morning and next day morning once again go and march without knowing what we are doing and why we are doing. Come on.
Yeah, I know. I know. Well, thank you so much. There's so much of psychological safety that we need to develop as leaders. And I think well-being and all of that will automatically be sort of taken care of when this one aspect is sort of taken care of. Um, the future of work, which I've been seeing a lot of things, the future of HR, the future of work, and a lot of things are being discussed on various platforms and various events. And it is true. It's not that it is not true. The future of work is being literally shaped by technology, AI. We never thought, even a year back, that things are going to change so much. People still grappling with the hybrid, offline, online, and return to work, and all of this what's happening around, moonlighting, what not has come up, right? From a leadership and especially from an HR standpoint, what are some of the critical skills that leaders should develop to lead consciously?
Okay, I'll come to this, but just some very quick thoughts in terms of the way I am seeing things are coming up. And once again, I might sound absolutely radical, but see this whole thing of hybrid work, return to work, yeah, remote working, for aka work from home, blah blah. These are all dependent upon the organizations that we do, and particularly the sectors that we do. R&D cannot happen from home. Okay, for the IT, I don't know where actually you are on a system, you are on a laptop maybe, and you can do anything from anywhere. Possible. But say in an organization, in a product or manufacturing organization like us, operations, the thing has to be produced. It cannot be produced other than the shop floor, and therefore the shop floor has to work. So if I'm a part of the shop floor, I cannot work from home. Simple. I think this understanding, and in the age of social media, I think a lot of things are being blown out of proportion. I'm not going to the working hours consciously. I'm not going there. But I personally think that as professionals, not only as leaders, as professionals, each of one must think where we are. If, say, given my personal context, I would need remote working. I would need flexible hours. My current sector is not able to provide me that. Nothing stops me from changing the sector. But please don't cringe. Yeah, that's one. The other thing, conversely, for organizations, if you have seen the success of remote work, and if you think that yes, your performance, etc., is fine, you're okay with it, people connect somehow, okay, whatever is happening, you are okay with it, then do not upset that because somebody else is upsetting that. So be situational, be contextual, and be fair is what I think. Technology I is an amazing boon, right? Why should we think of that life without technology and life with technology? I think it's a combination, right? The way we are talking today is technology. Could we have done this 20 years ago? Maybe in a different, on a different platform. I still remember my Cisco system days, and but we still used to say, so the fun is I used to service teams which were spread both from the east to the western horizon of the world. So I had teams in Hong Kong and I had teams in Montreal. Okay. So at times it used to happen that, say for example, the Montreal team is joining and so it's early morning for them, 7 o'clock for them maybe, and they're coming in with their coffee cups and I could really see the smoke. And then there's to actually mock us. Look, we have very nice coffee, but you can't smell it. So that is the fun. But at least technology brought us together. Technology made the world much more smaller, right? AI, other tools, whatever development is happening, I assume everything will happen ethically. It's a tall ask, but still, it is going to make life simpler. Yes, it is also going to change the way some jobs are happening. Let us be open for that. When ATMs came, when computers came in the banks, we thought the banks are now going to shut. When ATMs came by default, yes, now banks will not exist. Did it happen? There is the same teller counter. Is the teller doing the same job that they used to do then? No. I think that is the reality that all of us must think. You know, we used to have this concept of time office at one point in time. You know, every the people's attendance registers and so on and so forth. I'm sure you and I have lived that life, right? Salaries were being dispersed in cash. People used to actually. Those roles do not exist today. Same thing will happen. Some of our current roles may not exist tomorrow. But does it mean that it's the end of the world, a holocaust somewhere? No, not really. It's going to be much more fun. Yeah. Now, coming on to this, I think the first and foremost is I'm a big follower of the Johari window. So while we must know more about ourselves, which is actually opening up our open space, our open window, it's also to tell and ask. That has worked for me. Seeking feedback, even casual feedback from peers, from friends, from teams. Yeah. Um, Everything does not need to be formal in a boardroom. Even a coffee conversation works. Yeah. I spent a lot of time. I mean, I think in some of my roles, I had one of my business heads used to call me on the landline and it's to say, you are never on your seat. I said, no, my job is not on the seat. My job is on the floor. So you will see me every time moving around. I mean, roaming around in that particular role, having coffee with multiple people, just having some fun here and there. Go and pull somebody's leg and come. How do you create your connect? Is important. It is more important for us in HR because a I do believe it may sound as a repetition, but we exist for the success of the organization. We exist for the success of the business. And the amazing responsibility or privilege we have is that probably know we know a bit more about people. How do we marry both these things? I should be knowing my talent much, much, much better than my business. Let my business head focus on the business. We are there because organizations are all about people. Without people, organizations do not exist. Tell me one organization which is without people. Cannot happen.
True.
So for organizations to be successful, the teams must contribute to that success. It just doesn't happen. How do we get the teams together? The business, my business teams, my business heads may have a problem. How am I solving that? How am I helping them to sort it out with the people knowledge that I. And I think if the moment we are able to put this metrics together, that is much easy for us.
Yeah.
I was having conversation, just a couple of days ago. We met. I mean, just had a privilege. Yeah. So as I was saying that I mean, I just met a couple of people in a conference, and some of them were actually rather, what should I say, they were very uh, unhappy that business doesn't give them money for the team buildings and outbound. My only question to them was, have you answered the why? Why are you doing it? नहीं अच्छा लगता. It feels good. The teams. I said, do you? I have never seen a team building workshop build a team. Never happens. All of us, we will have, we go, we have a lot of fun. Yes. And we remember the fun. We forget the purpose. Can you get back to the purpose? Can you tell your business leader that why this is needed? And the expense that he is looking, I mean, he is looking not to do is actually an investment. If he does not do, may lead him somewhere else. Can you make this case and tend to present this to the leader? If you're done, then I promise you, you are going to get the sign off. But how many times? And this is my question to all my HR colleagues: how many times do we spend that extra 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 weeks to get to that why, and then do it? It's always easy to blame the business,
Business
but
not giving money.
but but are we really demanding the money for something that for which the money is worth? Introspect.
um, what you said beautifully was, with all the technology coming in and the world changing, it's literally reshaping the way we are living. It need not be this or that. We don't have to choose. Oh, I will do only this, but I'm going to ignore technology, or I'm going to be only technology freak, and there is no connection with people. It can be blend very nicely to our advantage, contextualizing in different situations. And for leaders, instead of saying that, this is technology, now you have to use it, you don't know, you are out of this business. It need not be that way, but being fair with everybody, probably supporting them in the journey of building their, helping them build their capabilities. It's like banks, right? We still go to the bank, but with the use of technology, our lives have become so efficient. We are no more wasting a lot of time traveling to the bank and waiting in the queues, and that has helped us to do some things better in our lives. So, likewise, leaders could also see, rather than imposing certain technology, or imposing certain, time zones that you need to come to work and all of that. Again, contextualizing that this business needs uh, this kind of people, and that it requires presence, and for this set of people may not be required, and this is how the organization will function, and take a buy-in, take their support in this whole decision. Hearing them out sometimes, yeah, even if I to say that no, you have to come because our work is such, they may have their own 10,000
Definitely.
reasons, but it should not stop us from listening to them. That listening also, probably when I'm saying something, I am only finding solutions to my problems. It's like
True.
in coaching, right? We ask one question, they are
Absolutely.
thinking about it, and they think about the problem and they are finding their solution. And
Yes.
then, you're able to, so listening as a skill, it's what that's what came to me. Being fair, hearing them, taking feedback, all these things are really important if you have to really navigate in today's.
I'll just add the word active to listening, and you know it why.
Yes.
Because at times we miss that out. We only go by the word that is being spoken. As leaders, as conscious leaders, or somebody who is going to create a safe space, I think we need to look a little beyond, a little deeper into the person. If we're able to create that, if we're able to do that, I'm sure a lot of things. I mean, maybe we may get some other input. The person is saying these are the words, but maybe I can really see this person getting scared with the inverted commas or something else. Can I address that? Can I? Then I think things becomes much easier.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for bringing that up. Another skill that comes to me when you said this was the ability to be curious. How are you curiously listening, or rather than thinking that I know this is how we are going to work? We are going to come to work every single day. You tell whatever you want. So nor neither I am listening, nor I'm curious about what could unfold in this conversation.
True.
Yeah, I mean, I just hope the future leaders who are listening to this conversation is also thinking how they could now start building these capabilities for the future. Uh, One thing, when I was reading your profile as well, we know each other for now a few years, um, but I did not know that you are also an evangelist for this aspect. You've written you're passionate about combating loneliness and burnout in leadership. What are the early signs that leaders should watch out for both themselves and for their teams? I don't know what made you, first of all, why, okay? Why you thought of being an evangelist for loneliness and burnout, and what are those early signs leaders could watch out for themselves and their teams?
Ah, I walked the road myself. I
Okay.
am a burnout survivor, and it was it was tough. Okay, it might take another session to talk about what went, but yeah, uh, so essentially, a couple of years ago, uh, the context of the organization somehow was okay. Forget those. There's a lot of stress. Let me say so. Okay, and as some of us have it, that all the magic wands are in our hands. Whatever we are going through or we are facing, nobody should know. I was like that. Yeah. Took a lot of stuff on me. What it did was spoiled my health. What it did was not probably, definitely it impacted my own performance and the kind of, what should I say, the, the, uh, the, the, the finicky for excellence that I am. If I'm not happy with my job, I go on that. So basically that inward negative spiral had started. I started detaching myself from a lot of people, including my family. And what all of it resulted was 8 weeks in the bed. I had a very bad um, slip disc. Was advised immediate surgery, and did not did not do that. And it happened when in one of my stints abroad. I did not do that. Basically, I fought against the doctor. My orthopedic surgeon, and I was termed as a madman. So so it happened like this, that okay, I mean, I said, I am not letting you touch my spine. What else can you do? So he said, I can give you an injection, less than 10% chance. It can reduce your pain. So my lower limbs, particularly my left lower limbs, was completely, they had no sense. It was the stage before paralysis, actually. So the nerves are so badly stressed, uh, and any movement of lower part of the body, or a certain kind of movement, I could not. Excruciating pain. But at that point in time, then I said, okay, you give me the injection. He said, but it will not cure you. I said, less than 10 is more than zero. Give me. Thereafter, found another doctor, and he was like an angel in my life. Yeah. And he just told me something that you were suffering from lazy back. So what's lazy back? No. Had it happened that at times, you, even after a good night's sleep, you don't want to wake up in the morning? Yes. So why did you not come to me now then? I said, how do I know? Yeah. And then, long story short, those 8 weeks was very, very difficult. I was going through transformation myself. Yeah. Um, a lot of people don't know. And see if you, I know you're on record, but you see if you want to edit this or not. But uh, he had asked me, those are all the drugs that I was on was actually based on morphine. He had asked me not to overdo, and I did. He saved me. But today I'm talking with you with that. So I survived burnt out. I survived as a senator because I thought it was the end of the road. I did think it was the end. And then, as I could not, I mean, as I could not share, but the same thing is, a strange thing is to happen that the universe conspires, right? A lot of people is coming and talking to you. So even on the bed, lying down, I'm having a lot of phone calls from my friends, from my connects, from my colleagues, and so on and so forth. And then I say, okay, this is not bad. If I can't speak, I can still listen, right? So I can be a whisperer, and that's what I've been. And then I found that I was not alone. There are plenty of people who were probably going back through those lazy back syndromes that I went through. I started making them aware. Some people who were losing hope, I started saying, look, you're there, no? The world is still beautiful. It's once again a beautiful morning. So, so my personal journey brought me in there, and I see a lot of time, plenty of time as leaders. We think that we are the super human beings. We have to do everything ourselves. I laugh at me today. Come on. If I can't do something, please tell. Let us say. And if we say, I'm sure people around us will understand. Our loved ones will understand that better. And that's how. That's how. So some things that I can't, that I personally could not do, I try to make people aware. And the universe has been really, really kind on me. I get this opportunity to talk to a lot of people across the world of various age groups, of various situations. Makes me feel so blessed. At least if I can touch a life, so be it. So thank you, God.
Thank you
But
for sharing that
my
story of
one
yours.
my
Yes.
my my one quick thing, Smitha, for all the leaders who would be listening to this conversation, please speak out. If you need help, please seek it. Vulnerability is one of the greatest strengths that we humans have. And do not hold that, okay, if I don't know something or if I'm stuck somewhere, seeking help will make me feel more. No. End of the day, we will be benefited. Come, forget what people will think, right? What people will think is their business, not us. So,
Absolutely. Vulnerability is one of the biggest strengths that a leader can demonstrate. It's a biggest strength that a leader can demonstrate. And I am with you on this. And it will definitely save a lot of leaders from being burnt out and feeling lonely at the top. You are not lonely at the top. You are making yourself lonely. I Instead of saying it's lonely at the top, I am saying that we are making ourselves lonely at the top. It's not lonely. It's not necessary that you've come from a boardroom meeting and you've come down to your cabin and you're just pulling your hair, thinking that what next? Probably, taking that few deep breaths, sitting back, relaxing for some moment, and then getting your confidants around your team members who are so much for your success and the team success, sitting with them, sharing what's important that needs to happen and what could they do, or probably saying that, hey, I'm really feeling stuck here, I'm really feeling a little nervous, or stressed out. And you know there'll be a whole lot of people who will be there with you, supporting you. But this whole aspect of burnout, as you rightly said, is not speaking up. Speak up, asking for support, being vulnerable, saying I don't know, I just need that help. I think these things will simply vanish out of the world if everybody takes charge of their lives.
I love what you just said. It's our life. Let us take charge.
Yeah, absolutely. I've learned it through many situations. So I completely resonate with what you're saying. That hey, I always tell this jokingly, but on a very serious note, that if a management trainee has a certain skill which I don't know because the younger generations or kids know, I would go all out and say, hey, I don't know this. You are better at this. You do this.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
So yeah, speaking up is one of the mantra for all the leaders who are listening and who feel that they are they they are getting burnt out every now and then. So here is a person who has been there and has come out of it, and he's only speaking now in so many platforms to share his story.
Oh man, yeah.
Well, one last question for you, Sanjeev, and that's exactly for today's leaders. What's the future leaders? What's that one piece of advice you would give to those future leaders who are looking to live and lead consciously? What is that advice from you?
Just two words. Okay, it's not an advice. I'm no one to give advices, but what has worked for me? Just being yourself. Be yourself. Mind you, the other person is also being themselves. Let them be them. Authenticity, whatever those jargons we read in the book, you know, and they are all inbuilt. If we are if we are accepting ourselves the way we are, if we're accepting the other person the way they are, we are connected to, and as leaders and the teams, our own teams and other teams in organizations, if you're connected to that common purpose, I'm sure you would have done this job. Uh, I want things in this way does not necessarily mean the other. I mean that the other person will do that thing that way. They may do it even much much better in their own way. So let's focus on the results. Let's focus on these uniqueness. And each and every human being is unique. Happened only one time in the universe. Won't won't get repeated. We may have some of our clones. Certain theories say that, but we all come to this universe once. Yeah, in this form.
Yes,
Let
absolutely.
let us leave our mark, and same way let others leave their mark. It's a wonderful place to be.
On that note, thank you so much, Sanjeev. So, for our listeners, be yourself and let others be themselves. Let's celebrate the uniqueness of each individual. That's when leaders are going to create their legacy. Thank you so much, Sanjeev, for your time.
Aisha,
Thank you.
thank you.